Hey you, and welcome to lesson number 7. Today we will talk about question words, how to form them, how to use them, what to use them for. We will also talk about demonstrative pronouns, which are this, that, these, and those. We will also use the modal verb can and could to make polite requests. And finally, we'll take a quiz, which you must not skip. So let's get to it. Okay, so we are going to start with the question words, the WH question. We talked about them briefly before. Today, we're going to talk more about them. First of all, how do we make a question? How do we structure the question? We follow this format right here. We start with the question word, followed by the auxiliary, followed by the subject, the main verb, complement. If we have additional things, complement means any additional information. So, question words are why, what, where, when, who, how, whose, whom. Okay, those are all called question words, WH. And how is also considered a WH, although it doesn't start with a W. Then you have the auxiliary verbs. We said the auxiliaries are for families: be, do, have, and models. Okay, those are the auxiliary verbs. Then we have the subject, the main verb, and any additional information. All right, let's take a look. What? When do we use what? We use what for, to ask for information. If you want to know information about something, we ask what. Okay? What is your name? What is your phone number? Also, we use what to indicate that we want the person to repeat what they said. Asking for repetition or confirmation. Like, what? I can't hear you. What? I can't hear you. Or what did you say? What did you say? What for? What for is asking for a reason. Okay, we want to know why do you want something. Okay, what for means why do you want something. Okay, like what did you do that for? Okay, what did you do that for? It means what was the reason you did that? Or, for example, if somebody wants to borrow money from you and you say, what for? What for? It means, why do you want it? What are you going to do with it? Okay? When is used to ask for time. When did he leave? Or when did she come? Or when did you go? To ask about the time. Where is to ask about a place or a location. Where do they live? Where do they go to school? Where do they play football? Okay, so we ask where for location. Which, we use it to ask about a choice. Like, which one do you like? Which one do you prefer? Which one are you gonna buy? Okay, which is to make a choice between something. Which color do you want? Who? Who is for people. Asking what or which person or people. All right, like, who opened the door? We're asking about a person, okay? We're asking about person or people. Who opened the door? Who was here? Who left who left their car in my spot? Who left their car in my spot? It means for parking. So who, if we're asking about a person, whom is asking what or which a person or people. Okay? Okay, what's the difference between who and whom? Who is used for the subject, whom is used for the object. Okay? Like, for example, when you say who, you have to imagine he. Who, it means he. We're asking about he or she, a subject. But if we ask whom, then we are asking about an object. It means him or her. Okay, let me give you an example. If I say, who left this here? The answer will be, he left this here, or she left this here. Therefore, we will say who to talk about he or she, which is the subject. Now, if we're talking about the object, we will say whom. For example, I will say, whom did you talk to? Whom did you talk to? So the answer will be, I talked to him or I talked to her. Okay? In this case, we will use whom because we are referring to the object and not the subject. Let's see an example here. Whom did you see yesterday? I saw him, or I saw her, or I saw them. It will all be object pronoun. Therefore, I use whom because I'm describing an object. While who is used with subjects. Who opened the door? He opened the door, she opened the door, they opened the door. I'm talking about the subject. Therefore, I use who. Whose. Whose is to talk about ownership, possession. I mean, whose something belongs to who. All right, for example, whose are these keys? Whose are these keys? That means who those keys belong to. They belong to this person, or they belong to that person, or they're my key, they're your key. Whose keys? If we say, whose turn is it? Whose turn is it? It means I'm talking about the person who owns this turn. The person who has to go next. It's my turn or it's your turn. So here we're talking about possession or ownership. Why is to ask for a reason. Why it's similar to what for, to ask for a reason. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? It means I want to know the reason why you said that. Why don't? To make a suggestion. Why don't is used for a suggestion. Why don't you go to the restaurant? Why don't I help you? Suggestion. How is to ask about manners, okay? Or to ask about a condition, or to ask about a quality. Okay, like for example, how does this work? How does this work? Or how was your exam? How was your exam? So how is used to ask about a condition, a quality, a manner, a way. You know, we use how. How is normally followed by an adjective or an adverb. If how is followed by an adjective and an adverb, they come as we see in this slide. How far? We're talking about distance. How far is your house? Oh, how far is Pattaya from Bangkok? How long? We're talking about length of time or space. Like, how long will it take? How much time will it take? How many? Quantity. This is used for countable items. If we are using it for uncountable, we will say how much. Uncountable item. Like, how many cars are there? Or how much money do you have? Because you know money is uncountable. We will talk about countables and uncountables on later lessons, so don't worry about them now. How old? We're talking about age. How old are you? How come? This is informal. How come is asking for a reason, just like why. How come? You're leaving early? How come? It's only 7 o'clock. Or how come I can't see her? Like why? Why can't I see her? So how come? It means why. It's just informal. Okay, so let's take a look at some questions. All right, who for people? Who is calling? Who are you going out with? Who is he? Who is your teacher? Here we're asking about a person. That's why we use who. What is for information? What is this called? What are you doing? What do you do? What are you doing today? What is your name? information. Why is for a reason. Also, how come and what for are the same as why. So why, how come, this is informal, or what for. They all means the same thing. Okay? Why are you sad? How come are you sad? Why is he leaving? Why was Bara crying? Why were they fighting? Where is for questions or locations. Where do you live? Where did you go? Where did you park? When is for time. When do you sleep? When did you leave? When did you come? Now let's take a look at different forms, okay? So we have the positive form and the negative form and the question form, okay? So if the positive form is I work, the negative form will be I don't work, the question form will be do I work. As you see, do I work, do I work. We started with an auxiliary, then the subject, then the main verb. This is always how we follow, how we make questions, using the auxiliary. We start with the auxiliary, then the subject, then the verb. If we have a question word, where will the question word go? The question word will go here, before the auxiliary. So it will be, why do I work? Why do I work? Okay, same structure. Question word, auxiliary, subject, and verb. If we remove the question word and we just want to ask an auxiliary question, we use the auxiliary at first, the subject, and the main verb. All right. The negatives, we always use do not or did not. Do not for the present, did not for the past. So you work, you don't work, do you work? He, she works. Remember the S we added because it's affirmative. She doesn't work. Does she work? It works. It doesn't work. Does it work? He work. We don't work. Do we work? They work. They don't work. Do they work? All right, let's do some exercise together. Fill in the correct question word. All right, we'll do this together. So here, sits next to Frank, Carla. Now this is, Carla is a woman name, is a female name. That means it's a person. For person, we use who. So who sits next to Carla? She sits, who sits next to Frank? Carla sits next to Frank. Does the boy come from? Come from. That means country. He is from Newcastle, okay, or a town, a city. So where does he come from? Where does he come from? Because we're talking about a place. So the correct word here will be where. Let's make this a little smaller, okay? Old are her children. They are 7 and 10. We're talking about age. And we said with age, we use how old. Very good. Is Peter's birthday in April, I think. You guessed it. We're talking about time. So the question word is where. Time is when, not where. When is Peter's birthday? Next one. Much is the shirt. It's 20 pounds. What are we talking about? Money. So, very good. How much? How much is the shirt? We said how much for uncountable, and money is uncountable. Is best at playing tennis. Bob. Is best at playing tennis. Bob. Bob is a guy name, is a male name. So, we are talking about a person. Correct answer will be yes. Who? Who is best at playing tennis? Are you going? I'm going to my friends. Yep. Here we're asking about a person's whereabouts. It means they're going to, you're asking them about they're going to, and their answers they're going to their friends. So that means, yep, correct. That means were. Where. Sorry, not were. Were is a past of are. Where. Is an orange juice? It's 50 pence. 50 pence is a price. So, correct. We're talking about money again. So, how much is an orange juice? Does the restaurant open? It opens at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is a time. That means when. Very good. Does the restaurant open? Can I get some ice cream? You can get some at the snack bar. So here, the snack bar is the location. That's where we'll find the ice cream. That means we're asking about a location, and you guessed it, it's where. Where can I get some ice cream? Very good. Now, let's talk about this, that, these, and those. This and that and these and those are called demonstrative pronouns. This is used with this and that are used with singulars, and these and those are used with plurals. So if you have one thing, we use this if it's near, we use that if it's far. But if you have plural, we use these if they're near, or we use those if they're far. Now pay attention to the pronunciation. We have this if it's singular, these, z. We use a Z sound, not an S sound. Like this, these, that, those. These and those are always plural. So we pronounce it differently with a Z sound. Okay, now, singular, this and that. Let's change the color. Where is it? Let's change the color. Let's make it purple. Okay, so singular, this, that. Plural, these, those. We use this and that with singular nouns, and we use it with uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns like, things that cannot be counted, like water or milk. This exercise, try to repeat this exercise every morning and evening. This exercise. Exercise is a singular noun, so we use this. What does this music make you think of? We use this with music. Music is an uncountable noun, so we use this. I've never been to that part of France. I've never been to that part of France. Part of France is a singular noun, or part is a singular noun. Can I have some of that juice, please? Juice is liquid. Liquids are uncountable, so here we use it with uncountable noun. These and those are used with plurals only. Okay, these and those are only used with plurals. You can use any of these computers. Computers is plural. I need to paint those windows. Windows, plural. I need to paint those windows. All right. Now, time phrase. We use this with time phrases. Like, for example, when we describe time and dates, like morning, afternoon, evening, week, month, we use this. The one that is coming, we are currently in. Okay, even if it hasn't, okay, the one that's coming in the future, or the one that we are currently in, we always use this. Okay, so this for time phrases, we use it with morning, afternoon, evenings, week, month, year, or to refer to a time that is coming in the future, or to refer to a time that we are currently in. I'll be with you sometime this evening. Joanne seemed very happy this afternoon. Ian is in Germany all this week. All right, so to recap, let's have a look here. This, that, and these, okay? This and that, singular, these and those, plural. The pronunciation difference, this and that, these and those. They are demonstrative pronouns, and this is for near, that is for far, these is for near plural, those are for something that is far and also plural. All right? We have a quiz, we have a quick exercise. All right? So this one, put this or that next to, or these or those. So the first one, right, it's that. Why? Because it is far and it's singular, one. Okay, this is near and it's also one, so the answer is correct. This. Here we have four, that's plural. They are pencils and they are four and they are far. So we use those, correct? Because it's far plural. And these are near and they are plural also, so we use these. Well done. Okay, now let's learn how to make a request using a model. We have can or could. Let's see. We use can and could to make a request. Can you help me? Could you show me the way to the two towers? Can and could are both polite. Could is considered just a little more polite, but they're both polite. Can you or could you? Okay, this is to make a polite request. We use could you as a polite way of telling or asking someone to do something for us. Could you take a message, please? Could I have my bill, please? You use this at the restaurant. Can is a little less polite. It's not impolite, it's just a little bit less polite. Okay? Can you take a message, please? It's still polite, but a little less. All right. There are other uses for can and could, but we're going to talk about those in other classes. So, what you must remember is to use the WH question correctly and structure the question correctly. The differences between this, that, these, and those, and the pronunciation, and making polite requests. There will be a small quiz at the end of this lesson. Don't skip it, and I'll see you next class. Take care.